thank you guys and girls for tuning in, and we are here for, I can't even remember which episode I'm on now. We've been banging these episodes out now pretty fast, and I want to thank you all for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to my podcast and give me a 5-star review if possible. Anyway, get to the point. I have my good friend from back home in the UK on air today. I'm really excited about dropping this episode because he's a good friend of mine, and he has founded his own company to raise awareness for men's health and for the stigma that becomes attached to it. And he is doing great things and making some great movements with men's health and the issues that come with it. And I'm really proud of him. And to be honest, it's a pleasure to have him on here. And I just wanted Aaron to introduce himself, if possible, buddy. Welcome to the show. And just if you could tell us a little bit more about your background and kind of like, what inspired you to launch Brotectors.
Thank you, Martin. So what it was, I've suffered with my mental health for around 6 years now. Having bouts of different episodes and using different meds. This Christmas just gone, had a bit of a pretty bad low. So with the help of my friend, I went to see a life coach who basically gave me some guidance, turned my way of thinking around. So what I tried to do was turn this negative into a positive. So I thought of making a website to use my experiences to help others, basically. And it's called Brotectors, and it's been, well, as far as a great success. Very proud.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, no, I've witnessed it myself, and it's amazing to see, man, someone like yourself stepping forward. I mean, it is literally as a good friend of yours, and that's what I was going to come to as well. The fact that we lived together for about 9-10 months, didn't we? And what I find pretty bizarre though is, like, obviously the amount of men that must have this issue and keep it under wraps and keep it suppressed like you did. Because I mean, I didn't pick up on it. You didn't give off any kind of, you didn't give any inkling to me, or any kind of, didn't give it away in terms of how low you're feeling depressed and all the rest of it. And I just find it kind of almost a bit of a worrying prospect that there must be a lot of men out there just like you were, mate. I mean, 5-6 years is a long time to go. Keeping it to yourself and not actually talking out about it, and just goes to show there must be so many men on this planet with in the similar situation who actually need support and need help. So I just wanted to big you up for the courage, and it takes a lot, man, especially with a male ego as well, getting in the way and stuff. It just takes a lot of courage, and I don't even know what other words to use to describe it, mate, but it's awesome that you've done that, mate. So hats off to you, mate.
For me, mate, there was definitely an element of probably shame. Obviously, going back then, 5-6 years, it's a long time ago, but I think there's a massive stigma attached to it back then. Obviously, it's getting better now. There's still a stigma attached to it, but I think you just try and hide your feelings and emotions because, you think you're being weak. Obviously, growing up, you're told man up, or you're told, oh, get on with it, or it's elements of stigma, and for me personally, I thought, people think I'm mad, or people think I may be a sap, or maybe a bit crazy. I didn't know, really. I just wanted to keep it away from my friends and my family, because I thought I may have been a bit of a pain to them,
Yeah, I wanted to move on to just quickly explain the fact that I can relate. I didn't have anything like you had. It wasn't like I was suffering for 5-6 years, but I did go through a bout myself when I was in my early 20s, where I lost someone close to me and didn't deal with it very well, and I started getting kind of like intrusive thoughts and dark thoughts, if you like, and I had to go and see a counsellor myself and try and manage it. I'd done some CB. Have you heard of CBT training? Is it?
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah. Cognitive behaviour therapy.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I'd done some of that. That helped a lot, and then but I still couldn't shake it off. It went on for about a year and a half, maybe, possibly about 2 years max. But I was on the verge of taking SSRIs, the antidepressants, and thankfully I didn't, because looking back, I think it may have been an error, because obviously I don't know. I was going to ask you about that as well. About did you actually go onto any medication yourself, or?
Yeah. I've been throughout the 5-6 years, I've had bouts of taking citalopram, And after Christmas, I had a really bad episode. I was given Prozac, and when I took those Prozac, I felt absolutely horrific. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was sleeping all day. So I knew I had to get off these. So I've sort of weaned myself off them. Obviously, with the help of the life coach, I'm totally med free. I've been med free now since January. So 9 months medication free.
Goes to show, doesn't it, though, if you really, really try hard and keep battling it and speak out about it, which is obviously the most important part to any guys out there, definitely there's absolutely no shame whatsoever in coming forward and we're going to get to that anyway and the reasons behind why you've done it. But so I can kind of relate a little bit, and I just feel like it's so important to talk about it, isn't it? Huh?
Of course, man. I think for me, and for a lot of guys, it's actually admitting you have a problem. A lot of guys just think, "Oh, I'll be fine. I'll sleep it off." It's actually saying, I need help. That is the primary thing. That was in my case anyway. That I admitted I had to get help. Rather than sweep it under the carpet, it's seeking that help from friends, from family, from a doctor.
Exactly. That's it. Wow. But yeah, I just wanted to, obviously, this being like kind of a health and fitness podcast, I would like to give the listeners more of an insight into any like kind of physical exercise or anything like that you implemented into your regime. And if like exercise or, I don't know, lifting weights or physical activity, anything along those lines, if that had a good positive impact on your mental well-being, and if you used exercise a little bit to help.
For me, Martin, exercise is a massive part of me keeping mentally and obviously physically fit. So I try and I do a lot of functional training now, so a lot of CrossFit-based stuff. So when I go into the gym, I like to feel like I've worked out, try and beat some PBs, whether it be on a rower, whether it be anything, so sort of beating my 1 rep max. Just keep on challenging myself every session, just keep getting better and better and better. Leaving the gym like I've done something, it gives you such a good feeling when you leave. You're sweating, all the endorphins are going. It's a great feeling.
Exactly, yeah, because you really get those neurochemicals going in the brain, and like you said, the endorphins, and so you've gone over to the dark side now, have you? Gone over to the I didn't know you jumped over to the CrossFitters.
Yeah. I'm a CrossFit man, and I mean, for me, it's just like I've done the whole weights thing. I've done. I played rugby. I've boxed. I think for me, CrossFit, you leave like you've exhausted.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the whole point of training, and I've seen you training, obviously topless, and I'm on you train.
Yeah, you've never seen me train with the top on, have you? Let's face it.
I think it's important to leave the gym feeling like you've done something, you've worked hard, and that goes in life as well.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, obviously you come from a competitive background as well, don't you? So it's that kind of mindset you've got, isn't it? Where it's like, obviously balls to wall and intense stuff works for a lot of people, man, and like it's whatever works for you, innit? As long as you're doing something, as you said, which is going to benefit your mindset, isn't it? So getting that endorphin fix is obviously an essential part of it, isn't it? Okay, yeah, man, I was just going to delve deeper into if you have any tips, because I'm pretty sure now, obviously the era we live in now, that there may be a few listeners who have loved ones or close ones who've experienced mental health issues, or maybe have experienced it themselves, and trying to find coping mechanisms to help them. So I was just going to see if you have any tips or anything like that in terms of, I don't know, like distractions or techniques.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah,
great.
I've got a few, obviously. For me, obviously, and a lot of guys who message in, I think just getting outside is a massive one. A lot of people tend to stay indoors, sort of isolate themselves. Just get out, whether it be for a walk on the beach, whether walking your dog, just get out, get some fresh air. Another one is texting friends. Just text a mate. I mean, you wouldn't believe, obviously, the impact just a coffee with a friend can have to make you feel better. It's just getting up. It's just beat those negative thoughts. Oh, I'm no good. I want to stay in. I don't want anyone to see me. Just constantly just fighting those negative thoughts. Another thing I do is I like to read. So I've got, obviously, I know you're into your Tony Robbins.
Yep, big time.
I'm into my reading, my audio books. Just constantly developing yourself. And also another one as well is just drinking water. I try and drink a lot of water every day, and it makes a huge difference, obviously, to how you feel.
Oh, for sure, mate. Yeah, and I'm glad you've gone into that side of it as well, because obviously I'm constantly trying to evolve and develop and learn as much as I can, listen to podcasts all the time and audio books and reading as many books as I can. And yeah, physical health, so obviously when you're drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated, these simple things and getting outside, getting some fresh air, the human body thrives on things like going outside, because dating back to evolution, obviously, being outdoors and that kind of stuff, it all adds up in terms of our chemistry, our biological chemistry and stuff. But yeah, like drinking water, simple things like that. I mean, drinking water, staying hydrated, as you said, sleep as well. I find I know that must be obviously a battle for some people who deal with those issues. I mean, because you said you were sleeping in the day and stuff, but that was when you were taking the Prozac.
Yeah, I mean, when I was obviously my bad times with depression, I couldn't sleep at all at night. So your mind's constantly thinking. Mm. So obviously you drift off about 4 or 5 a.m. You get up then for work, 8, 9, then you're shattered then, do you know what I mean? And it's that constant cycle,
Mm. That's it, yeah. And that's what I've going back to what you were saying then about getting outdoors and communicating with friends and stuff. That's what I've noticed since being here. I mean, being outdoors in the sunshine and getting a bit more vitamin D and just being by the beach and all that kind of stuff has definitely helped my my mindset in that sense. But then on the other side of it though, it does make a difference when obviously I haven't got my my close circle of friends like yourself and a few others, and obviously my family, all the other side of the world. That does also make it made me realize that does make a difference in terms of how you feel from time to time. You can feel a bit lonely no matter where you are in the world. Obviously, you can have all this amazing nature and these outdoors, but it's having that balance in your life, isn't it, Al? Which I find is very important, isn't it?
Of course, mate. Yeah, it's that balance. I mean, everyone needs friends. It's no man's an island.
Yeah, exactly. I like that saying. Yeah. What impact has Brotectors had on your current well-being, and how much benefit have you felt yourself from being able to be in a position to help a lot of other men? It's not even like a small scale. You're hitting, you're kind of reaching a lot of people now, mate, which is great to see. So how did that make you feel initially when you got into it?
So initially, when I set it up, my plan was to help one person. That was the goal, to help one. If I can help one person, I'll be happy. But obviously with the media stuff, obviously with Uni Lads and Wales Online, it's sort of rocketed. It's been overwhelming, really. I've had thousands of messages from guys in Australia, New Zealand, Texas, just all over the world. So wow, man. It's been fantastic. I mean, there's no greater feeling than when you help somebody.
Exactly.
I've had guys say, because of your story, I'm med free, or I'm seeing counselling. You've inspired me. It's a fantastic feeling. It really is. I mean, nothing comes close to it. But it's been overwhelming. I get a lot of messages from guys all over the world, and you'd be surprised who's going through these bad times. But I think when you're helping people, obviously you're bettering yourself. There's no better feeling in the world.
I bet, man. I mean, it must be so exhilarating, and that's like, if we go back to Tony Robbins, isn't it? If you look at, like, he is like the extreme case, isn't he, of literally live, breathing and eating to help others, isn't it?
Exactly.
And like, oh, it's amazing, mate. And like us, I wanted to come to that as well. The fact that how important helping, like, I mean, a lot of people, as you say, there's different ways of dealing with it, but the way you've done it, and just the fact, like, I saw the screenshot you put on your Instagram. I think it was what you mentioned then about the guy, maybe coming off the meds, and literally sent shivers up my spine. So I was just like, obviously being a close mate to you and having experienced it myself, and my cousin as well, which I wanted to mention quickly. Yeah, he you met my cousin. He's has problems with anxiety and depression and stuff. And when there's close ones to you are affected, really hits home. And just when I saw that message, I was like, wow, man, it's just amazing what you're doing, man. So it's great movement. And I wanted to come to the fact that I'm going to be an ambassador now for Brotectors, which I'm really happy about. So
really, really have you on board, mate. Really pleased.
Thanks, man. But yeah, let's definitely make some noise with this now and reach as many people as possible. Generally now, so obviously it was back in, you had your worst kind of bout, if you like, back in like Christmas time. And then you said because I remember, I think our mate Dan Shooter was telling me actually that I think it was in January he decided, I said, I'm going to do something about this. I'm gonna raise awareness. How would you describe your journey in terms of where we're at now, like September? over the last 8-9 months in terms of how you were feeling at the start and how you're feeling now?
I think it just goes to show. I mean, this was an idea that came to me. I was sat on my own in a coffee shop, just really down, and I thought, how can I use this experience to help other people? So obviously going from a negative to a positive. So obviously it was set up. I mean, the journey I've had has been, I mean, at times, Matt, you know, with it going on the Uni Lads and obviously on BBC and obviously Wales Online, I'm getting guys messaging me like 15, 16 times a night, like 3 in the morning, replying to these guys. You know, it's been hard. It's not been easy, you know. People see the good part of it, you know, and I love helping people. It's been really hard. It's been tiring, but it's been worth it, you know. I can't describe how I've been sat from a coffee shop and be on BBC News. Do you know what I mean? It's just been it's unbelievable, mate. I never thought it would be like this at all, you know.
It's amazing, mate. It's phenomenal to see as well, man, because I've pretty much witnessed it all. And as you say, like, I knew, I can see anyway, man, and I know how much hard work's gone into it, man. Because it's, you know, you've done it on yourself, man. It's not like you've had obviously you've had people to help you along the way. We all have people help us, and obviously that helps a lot. But the fact that, you know, you've just done it, and just where you are now is just amazing to see, man. And superb stuff. So awesome.
Just goes to show, mate, you know, any idea you have, you know, anything can happen. Because if you said to me a year ago, you know, you'll be on the news, you'll be in Uni Lad, you'll be doing this, you'll be doing that, I'd laugh in their face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Because you're obviously at that time. Can you imagine, like, how low you went at times, isn't it? You must have went down to the trenches, and like, yeah, if someone said that to you, you'd be like, really, mate, come on. You're having me on.
Yeah, exactly. I would laugh in their face. I wouldn't have believed it, you know. And I go out now, and even in Ibiza, I'd walk through Ibiza, and someone would say, "That's a guy from Protectors." You know, it's just unreal.
Wow, man.
It's unbelievable, mate. Yeah, unbelievable.
What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, that's it. And like, yeah, that's kind of like my goal now. Obviously, with the realm I'm in now with health and fitness, and that literally, I've come to realize actually only quite recently that, you know, you're trying all these different things, you're trying to be successful and whatever you want to do and stay on your path and do what you're passionate about. But the bottom line is, man, I really want to just help as many people as I can achieve good health, you know, and I'm talking overall health, you know, physical, but let's face it, the mental side of it with anything we do in life is the most important part anyway. That's the most important piece, isn't it? So I'm trying, exactly, mate. So I'm trying to, like yourself, I'm trying to learn as much as I can now and progress with my knowledge, and that's my kind of objective as well, is to try and reach as many people as I can, and just help as many people as I can, and keep learning along the way, isn't it? So we're both kind of in the same boat there, where you know, it's all about health, mate. Health is wealth, isn't it? Let's face it.
It is, mate. So it's so important, and obviously with guys like yourself, I mean, people like yourself, Martin, you know, you've got a big social media presence. You know, you keep in great shape. You know, people do look up to you. You know.
Oh, thanks, man. As you can see my message anyway, my message is, you know, even with this podcast, my primary message is health, really. You know, make health a priority, and you know, look after yourself, try and eat whole foods, and, you know, sleep well, as you mentioned earlier, drink enough water, do the simple things, you know, because we've been kind of bombarded with bullshit information, if you like, especially in the fitness industry, mate. You know, it's I believe it's lost a lot of integrity in certain areas, and I just think people are a bit brainwashed in terms of what's actually good for you, what you should be putting in your body for a start. But then secondly, it's like I've been practicing stuff like I've been doing a little bit of meditation. I could be more consistent with it, but I've been doing meditation. I probably average at like 3-4 times a week. Have you tried meditation at all, or?
I've tried, Martin, but I find it so hard just to sit down for 10 minutes, because obviously, say my phone's going off. I know that's the whole point of it, but I struggle with it myself.
Same.
But I will get there.
Exactly, mate. That's it. Yeah, what I find, I just try and get up a little bit earlier. I just get up super early and just do, like, even if it's just 5 minutes, mate, just focusing on your breathing. Yeah. I just wanted to mention that's another tool for any listeners and for yourself, even if you could find the time, because I found it to be really advantageous to managing my stress levels in general, and just it tends to put things into perspective in terms of what you actually get stressed about. I think just by sitting there and focusing on your breathing every now and then is a good tool to use. But it's easier said than done. It does take practice, but as you know, better than anyone, everything takes practice, doesn't it, mate? As you know.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to your point on the social media thing, I think a lot of people are focusing now on what they haven't got.
Yes.
I go onto Instagram and you see these guys with the Rolexes, the flash cars, and like, oh, why haven't I got that? But you've got to think what you do have. Do you know what I'm saying, mate?
Sure.
I think a lot of people become depressed. Obviously, a lot of girls on Instagram looking at these perfect bodies who are being photoshopped,
For sure.
chasing, really something that doesn't really exist. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
And Aaron, I'm going to hold my hands up. I'm going to hold my hands up here. I used to be one of those, right? but now my priorities have changed, right? It's all about health. I used to be selfie wankers. Oh, okay, I'm not going to deny the fact that I'm still a selfie wanker, but if you just read the captions, right, they are based on health.
yeah, honestly, it's just, I think people are focusing on what they haven't got and what they should be focusing on what they have got. It's keeping that balance. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's a lot of material things in the world which make people depressed. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want the perfect car, the perfect job, the perfect watch.
Absolutely, mate. Social comparisons, isn't it? That's exactly it, mate. And I wanted to, whilst you were on that topic, I wanted to, for yourself and for any listeners out there, an awesome book I've just finished listening to on Audible, on the audiobook, sorry. It's called Irresistible. And it was written by a guy called Adam Alter. And anyway, long story short, it's about what you were mentioning then about social media and how it's actually an addiction. It's a behavioral addiction. They've diagnosed it by doing experiments on rats and whatnot. But it's a behavioral addiction. No, the rats haven't been on Facebook and stuff, in case that's what you're thinking. It's not the way I said that then. No, it's not like that. But if you scroll it, putting selfies up and stuff. But I forgot what I'm saying now. No, but it's a really good book, man. It just goes to show that people are literally addicted to scrolling, checking their phone, and what they mentioned in there is social comparisons, as you just mentioned then, where people actually compare themselves to other people just on a regular basis, and it just deteriorates your mindset. And literally, again, they've done studies to prove that it most likely will have a negative effect on your mindset by comparing yourself to other people. And just as Tony Robbins says, showing gratitude and just being grateful for what you've got, instead of always expecting things and expecting great things to come your way and comparing yourself to other people and all that kind of stuff. Just the here and now, I find, is the art nowadays, because we're constantly what I'd like to say is kind of time warping in a sense. We're constantly on our phones, we're not present, we're not having enough social interactions really, and that's what the kind of book talks about. So yeah, Irresistible, mate. If you get a chance, listen to that, because it made me learn a lot.
I'll straight away, mate.
I just wanted to see if there's anything you had to say, or anything you wanted to say to kind of wrap it up. Have anything you wanted to bring up or mention to the listeners? Any tips, anything you want to say, mate?
What I will say is that any guys out there struggling with their mental health, who are keeping it on the down low, just get help. I mean, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. So any guys out there struggling, just tell one friend. You'll be surprised how much it can help. It's there are guys committing suicide, unfortunately, and we need to change that.
Yeah, and as you were saying then, you mentioned off air about the what was it, the suicide? What was it, the prevention month or something?
It was Suicide Prevention Day on Sunday, just gone. Obviously, over the last 3 years, the figures are dropping. It's down slightly each year, and I think a lot to do. I think is because of the awareness that's happening in the media. But obviously, it's still high. It's still 5,000-6,000. So that's just in the UK, obviously, as well. So
wow,
guys are still committing suicide, unfortunately. We need to bring it right down. I mean, even one's too much. Do you know what I'm saying, Matt?
For sure, mate. It's catastrophic. I mean, like what the families have to deal with and stuff, and the fact that people around them who didn't know about it, just so powerless to the situation, and it's just there's a sad state of affairs.
There's a video on the website, and he's a guy who committed suicide off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he survived. I think he's the only guy who ever survived from jumping off, and he said as soon as he jumped, it was an instant regret. Do you know what I mean, mate? So
jeez, and he survived. Wow, I was going to say, man, because the waters there are ferocious, mate. I mean, that's interesting because people don't survive in those waters, mate. And I mean, just to jump that high for a start, but the waters are meant to be. Wow, he survived. Jeez.
He survived, and obviously now he's living to tell the tale, and obviously using his experiences to help others. So
wow. I can't believe he literally regretted it the second he jumped. That is...
Yeah, he said as soon as he jumped, he said, why have I done this? And obviously he's hit the water, and he's broken all the... I think probably every bone in his body, but lucky enough to survive,
Wow. There's a hell of a message, that, isn't it, to get across to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to come to something then when you were mentioning you're mentioning capping it off with that stuff. Then I just wanted to get just one more thing I wanted to say, that you know, guys out there, you're not alone, and you know, it's you should speak about it. And as Aaron said, you know, even if it's just speaking to one person, then that's going to benefit you massively. Just make sure you communicate and don't keep everything under wraps and keep it all to yourself, because it's going to do you no favors. Just literally, like, to have my good friend, you know, one of my best friends, do what he's done in terms of helping others and overcome his massive kind of issue with mental health. It's just an amazing thing to witness. And guys, you're not alone. So please don't be afraid to speak to anyone, you know, a loved one, anyone. Just try and follow Aaron's advice on that one. So just to round it all up now, I just wanted to see if we could promote your socials a bit. So if you can just tell the listeners where they can follow you, where they can find you on Instagram and whatnot, that'd be great.
On Brotectors, it's at Brotectors on Instagram. There's also a Facebook page, Brotectors Facebook, and the website is www.brotectors.co.uk.
Awesome, thanks a lot. Go check Aaron out, and then go follow me on Instagram at Martin Silva Fitness. Check out my YouTube channel as well, which is also Martin Silva Fitness. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as I said at the start, and if you can leave a 5-star rating, that would be amazing. And mate, it was an absolute pleasure to catch up and to have you on my podcast, man. So I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, mate, it's a pleasure. Honestly, anything I can do for you guys, just give me a shout.
Thanks a lot, man. Over and out.